I'm told the number one fear people have is speaking in public. It's the one fear I don't have. Join me for the Love Speaks series, where we leave fear behind and we speak love. Loving our story, loving speaking, doing what we love, loving each other, and loving ourselves. Our stories are what connect us and make us better humans. So join me and my Love Speaks friends for some stories, some laughs, some inspiration, some speaker tips, and some unexpected truth. It's the Love Speaks series, where a little bit of love goes a long way.
Welcome to the Love Speaks series. Here's your host, Sally Lou Loveman.
Hi, everyone, and happy week of Mother's Day. We are excited to be in Chicago right now in the beautiful weather. But what's funny is we're really not, because I'm recording this with my mother when she has been in town for my book launch, which is February. So we are February right now recording, but you're hearing this in May. So I'm really hoping my mother gets that, because she keeps saying it's not Mother's Day, but it is. So everybody, please welcome my mommy, Mary Ann Oakes. Hi, Mom.
Hi, dear. How are you?
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. My goodness. It doesn't seem like Mother's Day to me.
No, we're in our
Where's my
parkas.
present?
It's coming. It's coming. I've got some time. No, it's funny to explain to people, we tape these podcasts in advance and then we hold them and then they get released. And so I thought, well, wow, my mom's here. She came in for my book launch for my book Speak. And we had, I would say it was just a 10 all around. So I'm going to ask you, Mom, how is love speaking to you today, in this moment, right now?
Well, right now I'm with one of my love children, and I'm so proud, so incredibly proud of what she has accomplished. Sally Lou.
You can talk to me directly. Like you can say you. You in other words, you can say, I'm proud of you.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to talk in the third person, if that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like...
No, you can talk to me. You can talk to me.
Oh, okay.
My mom doesn't like this, by the way. She hates it. This is round 2, but I think she's doing great. Okay.
I don't like it too much. But
you're doing great.
I am so proud of you, Sally Lou, and what you have accomplished, and what I don't think your sisters or myself or anybody else that ever talked about your writing a book expected what came.
Well, that's the little
this.
Unexpected gift, I guess, that, and I love unexpected, but yeah, I had some eye rollers in my family. They're like, wait, you're writing a book? Okay. So when you read it, what did you think?
Oh, I thought it was excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
And it was also more of a learning tool than I expected. I thought it was just going to be a book, not a learning tool. And I was so proud of you on Saturday with your many friends and many...
That was my book launch.
Yeah, it was so wonderful.
Yeah, every walk of life was represented, from my childhood best friend, Betsy, to the people that I've met through Love Speaks. Of course, my Harpo family was represented. My family flew in.
It was incredible. And so many people came up to me and said, I know you because I see you on Facebook.
Or Instagram, Instagram,
Instagram more so.
Exactly. I spend more time on Instagram at Live Love Speaks, and my mom is a featured guest there, I would say, because I spend a lot of time. My mom, we lost my dad. It'll be 5 years in June, so in a month it'll be 5 years. It seems like yesterday. And, I try to spend as much time with her because you live in Philadelphia. And you're 87 years old. You're going to be 88 in June.
I know you mentioned that at the luncheon.
She was our oldest member. Exactly.
I even had to stand.
You did. You stand and you wave to your fans. And my niece, who also flew in town for the launch, which was really sweet, Cameron, has a platform on Instagram called Freckled Foodie. And she also has a podcast, Freckled Foodie and Friends. And her fan favorite is also my mom, to her millennial audience, and to my midlife audience. You are also a fan. So you cross all age brackets, because I think that everyone wants to live a life that is full and that is happy and healthy. And at 88, you're doing that. So tell us a little bit about that.
I'll tell you a little bit that I'm not 88 yet. But
I will be. You will be.
I forgot.
You will be.
I will be in 1
be.
month.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Very close. And I don't mind being 88. I'm having a wonderful life, but I've lost a lot of my good friends, and that's the hardest part.
Right.
About growing old.
Right.
Otherwise, you just see your family get better and better and have more excitement to give you, and I'm lucky enough to be with them pretty much a lot.
Yes.
Pretty much
We keep you very busy.
Yeah.
And what's cool about you is that you are just like, okay, let's go. You definitely stress about what you're packing. And
that's all right. I just pack everything I have.
Literally pack everything, but you've been in my clothes the whole time. At the launch party, we forgot. I told my mom several times throughout the week coming prior to the party, we're spending the night in the city. You're going to pack a bag when we leave Saturday morning. We're all spending the night with my sisters and my daughters and my son and my niece. And then we got to the hotel and she's like, am I spending the night here? And I was like, oh, we forgot her bag. And
we didn't forget it. I didn't even pack it.
So most 88-year-olds would sort of be screwed, right? So all she really needed was a toothbrush, which we got from the hotel, of course, because she wore my platform sneakers because we're basically the same size foot. She's teeny tiny, but she managed to work my leather leggings. I threw her a sweatshirt. She was fine. I mean, she was adorable.
I wore my granddaughter's sweater.
Yes, you did. Yes, to dinner, right?
And I got more compliments than I got on any of my clothes.
Well, do you think that'll make you pack differently on your next trip?
Never.
Oh, God. You, on a previous recording that didn't go as well as this one's going, I asked you, why do you pack so much?
Well, when I was young, I used to go to the movies, and I think I saw maybe a movie star. I can't even think of any movie star right now.
But when you were young? Like Paul
yes,
Newman?
When I was
or
young.
Are you talking about a woman?
And they would go on a trip.
Oh.
And they would have so much
Trunks.
luggage,
yes.
Trunks. I thought that's the way you're supposed to live. Right. So I've never forgotten that time. But
so Audrey Hepburn had her trunks, and so did Elizabeth Taylor.
And I mean,
so you are too.
So I certainly don't want to pack light.
Right.
I marvel at these people. I have a neighbor she went to Hawaii for a week or 2 weeks.
I think she went for 2 weeks.
She went, as did my granddaughter, go to Italy with a carry-on.
Right.
I mean,
it's unheard of.
How's that possible?
But we made a discovery that it was something about an audience. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so I said, why do you pack so much? Sorry, my dog Gracie is here because I thought she would help calm my mother down because my mom does not like to speak. But Gracie is actually a huge distraction. And
exactly.
I'm a huge fan of distraction. But Gracie's anxiety is like on 10 right now, and she's just freaking out. So if you hear a dog shaking, that is Gracie. And hopefully she's going to calm down.
It's Gracie.
It's not you. Exactly. But because you are so in love with your clothes, and they really are like your friends, like you're kind of like Moira, like you have wigs too, and you travel with them and you put them on my, you bring the heads and you put them on my table, and I'm like, oh my God. But it's almost like you place such importance on these outfits, and you almost could name them. But why is that?
Why?
Yes.
Well, first of all, my mother was a great gal with her clothes. She always looked so lovely.
She dressed beautifully.
But my grandmother, when I was very young, of course, had a children's shop, and I used to model things for her.
Oh, so you were a model.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
I was. And I remember going to New York one time and walking down the runway as maybe a 5-year-old.
Wow.
I might be making that up, but I think it happened.
Okay.
But in those days, if I went into town with my mother, I wore gloves. preferably white gloves if it was spring. Everybody dressed differently then, of course.
Yes.
We were...
Travel is not the same.
No.
People don't dress for travel. We just want people to bathe.
My first travel, I think when I was probably in my 20s, my mother told me to wear a beautiful suit, and I wore a hat, and I was so dressed up, and I got on this plane, and it rocked a little too much, and I threw up all over myself.
Your cute outfit.
Into the bag. And I got to Dallas, Texas, and my husband said, "Come on, we'll have to get a cab." I said, "I can't get in a cab. I can't get anywhere."
You'd rather walk. You have a lot of motion sickness, which is interesting. Like
Very
you
much
can't
so.
do yoga.
That's from my father and smoking in the car all the time. And
oh, so it made you kind of nauseous and sick?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know
I
that
think
either.
that's probably what it was.
Right. Well, anyway, you're always dressed perfectly. You're known for your outfits. And most women at your age, first of all, you're blessed with health. Thank God.
Yes.
We're so grateful for that. You can't hear anything.
That's the most important thing.
Right. You can't hear well. You wear two hearing aids that never seem to work. You're hearing me today, so I'm grateful.
They work.
Okay. But for everything besides hearing, you mean you really don't have that many aches and pains, and you are healthy, and you keep up with us. You go to New York. You go to North Carolina, where Susan is. You
Florida.
go to
Florida.
You go to Palm Beach. You go to Chicago. You'll go anywhere, and I love that about you. There was one time that you kept saying no to my invitation, and I write about this in the book. You kept saying no because you are anxious, and I get that. You're older. Like, I'm anxious. I'm 57, soon to be 58. Well, I guess at this recording, I'm 58. And the importance of accepting an invitation and letting that be so well received by the person that is giving you that invitation. I really believe strongly in that. I also believe strongly that when you accept an invitation, you open up your world into something that's so new and different that could change the trajectory of your life, like I did when you invited me to the Mike Douglas show, which we're going to talk about, and discovered the girl with a clipboard. But in the full circle moment, and I was pushing you because I wanted you so badly to go to the Watching Oprah exhibit in Washington, D.C. at the African American Museum of History and Culture. And it was only going to be there for a certain time. I got tickets, and it was the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Now, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving with my family, the Oaks family. We celebrate it with the Loveman family because my mother-in-law has made Thanksgiving a Jewish holiday. So she says, "Will you get Christmas?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So we get Thanksgiving. I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So we always celebrate Thanksgiving in Cleveland. So it was the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and you were going to need to travel in from Philadelphia on a train. And why didn't you want to come?
I don't remember not wanting to come.
Well, you said no like 5 times.
But I was invited to Cindy's for dinner, and then we were going to the beach, and I wasn't sure how this all could work.
Right.
Without.
So I'm always looking for solutions, and I'm like, oh, this can work. You're going to get on the train. We're going to pick you up at Union Station, and then you're going to take the train back to Philadelphia. We'll get you a car, whatever. And you were really scared about the crowds on the train on Sunday because we were going back to Chicago. Mm-hmm. You were scared of the crowds. And then I really got that. I understood that. And that's when Mitchell, my husband, said, "Sally Lou, why don't I just drive her home?" Because we were driving in our car from Cleveland to D.C. I was flying home with Billy. Marin was training back up to New York. Carly was flying to Nashville, where she was living at the time. But Mitchell was driving home and by himself. And so I said, you would take my mom to Philadelphia? And he's like, absolutely. So we offered and said, Mitchell will drive you home if you say yes. If you take the train there, Mitchell will drive you home. And then we completely and totally tricked you, basically, because we said we had to pick up the toboggan that you had been bitching about having in your garage, which I also write about in the book. So Mitchell basically was like, I need to pick up the toboggan, so I'm taking you home. So you said yes. And I cannot tell you how much it meant to me for your yes, for you to be next to me when I looked up and said, that is my name, that is my quote, and I'm in the Smithsonian because of the invitation you gave to me to go to the Mike Douglas show.
It was quite a night to see that. I mean, it was incredible.
How did you feel?
Oh, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And having your whole family there.
Yeah.
And my being there was such a treat.
Yeah. I felt really, really lucky. I felt really blessed. And I felt like...
Well, more than seeing it, I was so happy that I could have pleased you that much.
And that's the point I want to say to people. You have no idea how much your yes means to people. Like when you say yes to someone, it means so much and it costs nothing. Well, I mean, it costs you a train ticket, but I mean, it really costs usually nothing.
And even if it does, it's so worth it.
But I also want to say for the person that's doing the inviting, and I did this to my girlfriend Gia at my launch party. She had a lot going on with her family the weekend of that party. And I looked at her and I held both of her hands and I looked at her in the eyes and I said, I really want you there. I know you have so much going on with your family. Bring your family. Just bring them. I want you in the room. You don't have to stay forever. I just will want you there so badly. And she wanted to be there, but she had other obligations. And she brought her family and it was great. And she was there. I think it's really important to let the people who you are inviting know just how much their yes means to you. Because sometimes they don't know. And you got to let them know. Tell me about the Mike Douglas show. How did you get tickets?
Oh, so I know that's so long ago. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I mean, my gosh, that was a long time ago. Now, Mike Douglas did live in Gladwyn. Where
okay, fine. Well, you didn't go to his house and get the tickets. So,
but I have no recollection.
No recollection. That's so funny.
Of how I did that.
Well, I know one thing. I didn't come to you and say, Mom, I want to work in television and I want to go to the Mike Douglas show. That I know for sure.
I have no idea what prompted me to get tickets
Right.
And we went by ourselves. It wasn't that we went with a group.
No, the two of us went by ourselves. And the second time we went, because I wanted to see the Sweat Hogs from Welcome Back Kotter, we brought Betsy, Betsy is my best friend who our mothers were pregnant together. And so we've known each other since birth, and she's in the book a few times, and she now refers to herself as Betsy from the book. She's so funny. She's not on Instagram or Facebook. She's a little bit on Facebook. She is extremely successful. She runs her own company in executive search, Northline Partners, and she texts me pictures of herself. She's very fashionable, and I'm like, the fact that you don't have an Instagram account, like you're just I don't even care. Don't text me anymore because I want to see these on the gram. And her maiden name is Graham, but whatever. So yeah, Betsy from the book. I said yes. I didn't want to go. I said yes. I could have said no. I had field hockey practice. I skipped that. I got in trouble. And it was by far my invitation to my career with Oprah. And then my invitation to connection and moving people's hearts, that came from Dad. You didn't grow up that way. Your house, even though I was very, very close with my grandparents, as I write in my book, your house was not a house filled with, I love you, like our house was.
No.
So what was that like for you?
Well, I think they were the times, too.
Maybe.
I don't think a lot of people, nowadays, you say, I love you to someone you're talking to on the phone as you hang up.
Right.
A good friend. Or it doesn't have to be a real good friend.
Or the UPS man when he delivers my books. Like
Exactly.
I use I love you all the time.
And those words were never spoken.
Yeah.
When I say never spoken, of course they were spoken, but they were not.
Well, did your parents tell you that they loved you?
I never remember hearing that.
Right.
I'll never forget when my father was in the hospital and he was near death at the time.
Okay.
So I was I was married.
Of course, I was alive. I mean,
no. Oh yeah, you were.
Yes, he died when I was a junior in college.
Yeah, and my best friend called me and said,
Aunt Mary?
She said, just go over there tonight and give him a big kiss and say, I love you. I said,
he would die.
He couldn't handle that. He would die on the spot. And that's the way I felt.
Did you do it?
I didn't, because that is not what we did.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Huge tease.
As are you, as am I. It's a generational.
And he told me all the kind of things that were wrong with me, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he gave you your nickname, which is Snookie.
I know he adored me.
Yes, totally.
But it wasn't something that you just said to people as much as nowadays.
Do you feel like you've grown so much by being married to my dad?
Yes, yes, because he was very affectionate and very much talked about love, and even though it took him from July to Christmas Eve to tell me he loved me.
You mean when you first met?
Yeah, yes.
Well, I mean, that's not that long. That's 6 months.
That's a lot of,
most people don't say I love you like within moments of, except for me with the UPS man.
People fall in love every other day.
Well, yeah, but even with that, like when you say I love you, you're committing yourself like in that kind of relationship, you know.
But I think nowadays you say it so much that it's just rolls off your tongue for, you know.
When Dad said in December that he loved you, did you say it back?
He said to me, I said to him, we were sitting in front of our Christmas tree, and I said, I just love Christmas.
Oh.
And he said, I love something more than Christmas. So
did
I
he
love
say
you.
Okay, so he said that. Okay. And then what did you say?
I
thank
fainted.
you. Because you've never said the words. So now you're like, what do I do?
What do I do now? No, I probably leaned over and kissed him. I don't remember.
So you probably didn't say it back.
I don't remember.
Because you didn't even know how to. I mean, you probably felt it, but.
Oh, I probably did. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I'd already told him I loved Christmas. I didn't have to tell him I loved everything. No, I'm teasing.
Right.
I mean, that was 65 years ago, Sally. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So to remember that's pretty good that I remembered that much.
It's great. Listen, Mother's Day is around the corner. It's a really hard day for people without mothers. I mean, it's gut-wrenching. I think every day is hard without your mother. But when you have a holiday where everyone's posting, this is my mom, this is my mom. I have a really good friend, Barry Liner Grant, who has a platform called the Memory Circle. She lost her mom suddenly at a very young age. Her mom was on the Jersey Shore. She took a break from her work and went and sat on the beach in her cute bikini and had an aneurysm. So it was just like that, gone. And so Barry, her daughter, my friend, started years later, just, a couple of years ago, started this platform, and she's on my podcast as well. And if I could remember, it's either aired or coming up. So maybe you've already heard Barry speak, but she speaks about loss in the most beautiful, beautiful way and opens us up to talking about it. But my point is that on Mother's Day, there are plenty of people out there and plenty of people listening who either don't have their mother or don't have their mother in their lives. She may be alive, but she's not a present moment, a present person in their life. And I would just like to say thank you for being alive. Thank you for being so present in my life and so present with my children and your other granddaughters and your daughters and their spouses and my husband. And you have such a unique relationship with each and every one of us. And you don't just send us cards or, call on Sunday night. You are with it. My kids' friends' names. What they do for work. What they're working on. What they're struggling with. And so I really appreciate that. And I think also a lot has to do with your mindset. You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook. You know how to text. It drives you crazy, and
I love it though.
and you drive me crazy asking me, and then you look at me like, I'm like, okay, what's your login? What's your password? You're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my God. And you think I'm a genius. My kids think I'm an idiot. So it's like each generation, it's so funny.
Exactly.
But you always go, on my Facebook, I'm like, okay, it's not just your Facebook. You mean your feed? You're like, and I literally have to go, okay, this is everyone you follow. That's your feed. And this is your page. And so it's very, like, I try to be very literal with you, but it is frustrating. It frustrates me. So I can't even imagine how it frustrates you, because we were not born with this, and therefore it doesn't come to us so easily. But I'm so grateful that you are just so engaged in everyone's life in the most positive way. So how do you feel that way? Like, how do you feel like when you're on Instagram and all of that?
Oh, I love all that.
And you can follow her at Baby Snooks. Is it 626? You don't even know. You have no idea. She couldn't. As you're talking, I'm going to look it up. I know it's Baby Snooks, but I'm not really sure after that. I mean, I'll put it up on the notes, but I'm just going to go ahead. Speak. She's like, what's that handle?
First of all, from the time you gals all left college, you never came back home.
Right. And I promised you that I would never leave you.
Absolutely. And you broke your promise.
I did. I'm sorry.
And that was pretty awful. But
sorry.
They all went their own ways. They all were successful. They all had wonderful husbands, and everything was fine. Then they started having children, and I couldn't be with these children. And it was very, very hard for especially my husband.
Yeah.
Because he
couldn't take time off.
He couldn't take the time off. He didn't like to fly. He didn't vacation. He really just worked. But somehow we kept this wonderful relationship of the sisters, their children, my husband and I, the in-laws. It was incredible.
Yeah, we're very blessed. We have I would say a perfectly imperfect family. We are very, very close. There's not one person in the group that has any kind of angst with anyone. Like, we're just fully in love and embrace each other and cheerlead each other all day long. Like, if someone is going through something hard, we're there for them. If someone has something important and exciting, we're there for them. There's no jealousy. There's no fear. There's just love. That obviously comes from
amazing.
You. Yeah, it comes from you and Dad. There's always forgiveness. There's always start over. There's, just when I think about what I have been through with my marriage and how my brother-in-laws have just acted like brothers, like to Mitchell, like, I am your brother, like, I am going to be there for you. The way my sister-in-laws have been sisters to me. So I have it on both sides. But it's really unique and wonderful. It is absolutely what gets me through. I mean, I couldn't possibly go through some of the stuff I've been through without the support and the foundation that you and Dad laid for me. And I say that it's I write about it. It's a privilege. It is a privilege that God chose me to be your child and Dad's child, because not everybody has that. So I recognize that, especially having worked on the Oprah Winfrey Show and seeing the sadness that families have and what people are going through. And, everyone's got a story. Like I said, everyone has a story. It's not always a straight line. It's not always pretty. But those stories, they're what connect us. And I'm grateful for my story and grateful that God chose you and my dad. How did you get your nickname, Snookie? Because everyone calls my mom Snookie from the day she was born. I know how she got it, but tell us.
Well, I was born in 1932, and the Ziegfeld Follies were very much part of the world. Culture.
Pop culture.
Pop culture, which it wasn't called that then.
I know.
But anyway, and Fanny Brice was she was a star.
Yes.
In the Ziegfeld Follies, but she was also an incredible comedian.
Yes.
So she would do her routines as a comedian with the name Baby Snooks.
Right.
And for some unknown reason, my father evidently
He walked in the room.
And said, "This is my baby Snooks."
Okay.
And from that day on,
You were Snookie.
I was Snookie.
Snookie, who
And
loves the Jersey Shore.
And never,
and spells
ever
her with
lost
an
it.
I-E.
Now, Mary Ann is my correct name
Right.
and given name, which sort of is like Sally Lou. There are two names.
Thanks, Mom.
And I would get Mary in school.
As I get Sally.
And it drove me crazy.
Thank you. And you didn't think for
and
1
I never
second
thought about it.
to not do it to me?
No.
Wow.
Because I named you for your aunt.
I know.
And I loved her and I loved
did
the
too,
name.
and I love my name. I love my name. It's so exhausting all the time to meet new people and have to explain that my name is Sally Lou. And I sound like such a, I just sound like, no, my name is Sally Lou. Like I try to say it nicely. And having worked at Harpo for, so many years, I had what I call my Lou chorus. And so if anyone walked in the room and called me Sally, I heard an entire room say Lou. So I didn't have to say it.
Why is it that I know a lot of women named Mary Lou?
Right.
I've never, ever used just Mary. I've used everybody.
Well, and I know a
calls
lot
it
of people
Mary
named
Lou.
Marianne, and some spell it one word with an I-A-N-N-E, with an E, with no E.
Yeah.
But how many Sally Lou's do you know? 2. Dose, right? So it's not common.
That's true.
So I get Sally.
I even know there were 3 of them. There was, that was Sarah Louise.
My niece is Sarah Louise, and then we call her Lucy because we have to make everything difficult. But yes, Sarah Louise was my great grandmother, who my grandmother was very close with. It was her grandmother. And then my grandmother named her daughter Sally Lou because that was the nickname for Sarah Louise. And then you and Dad named me Sally Lou. And then my sister named her daughter Sarah Louise, but call her Lucy. So anyway, Snookie. Is there a difference between Snookie and Marianne?
What do you mean a difference?
Like persona. Like, are you...
You mean I'm one person here and I'm one person there?
Exactly.
Not quite. But I have to remember, and I pretty well know this, who calls me what.
Right.
And sometimes I get a little mixed up when I go to call someone or write to them.
Right.
I go, what does she call me, Marianne or Snookie?
That's what I'm saying. It's confusing, right? It is confusing.
And a lot of girls, women, I should say, have called me Marianne for years, and slowly, they start calling me Snookie.
Well, everyone from your childhood and your high school years
is all Snookie.
Snookie, right? Snookie, yeah. So funny. Well, your father, my grandfather, he played a huge, huge part of my life. I spent a lot of time with him because he was retired, and I didn't want to spend my Saturdays in your station wagon taking Cindy and Susan to all their sporting events. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather. I usually brought my dog Bally over, and I just watched him, till the land, whatever. I thought he was a landscaper. That's all he ever did. And I tell the whole story of the terracotta pot, the urn. Like it was, his story. He was, as was Nana. They were very, very important people.
And he was a tease.
And he was a tease. So that's Gracie shaking. She's actually fluffing. When you opened that door and I said, "Hi, Mommy," and you said, "Say it. Go ahead. Trigger me."
I think probably.
Oh, go ahead. Just say it, Mom.
I said, "I'm not your mother."
That's so mean.
Maybe I was dressed. Maybe it was Halloween.
Nope.
Are you sure it wasn't Halloween and I was
Halloween.
dressed up as a witch?
Nope. You were just being a witch. But I do it to my kids. I tease them all the time. And then when we told this story on Facebook, we did a Facebook Live, and Erin Abbott was like, "Oh my God, I do that to my kids all the time. We're in the store and they're like, 'Mom,' and she's like, 'Who are you talking to?'" I get the humor because I love teasing people and I love being funny. It's my favorite pastime. But when I tell my therapist this, they think that, you're evil, but you are just really funny.
I think it's amazing you remember such a thing.
I know I do remember a
How
lot.
about some of the good things
All
I told
good.
you?
So many good
Like
things.
I would never leave you ever.
I think that was me telling you I would never leave you, but that's okay. You were not a worrywart as a mom growing up, but you have turned into one. I can't even drive with you in the passenger seat. You're so annoying. You think I'm going to crash every time I put my foot on the pedal. You worry a lot. I worry a lot. My kids worry. We're all worriers. My father was a professional worrier. And so it is really hard, and we have way more things to worry about now in this world. So I really try hard, but you definitely worry, and I want you to worry less, which is why I feel like you should be off of your social media and you should only go on it once a week so that you don't have so much anxiety. I think that's good for everybody because it does cause you anxiety because you don't know how to do it. I think that would really help.
No, that's my pleasure.
Okay, then don't do it.
My pleasure.
Fine. So you'll keep calling me and say, well, on my Facebook. And then you always want to delete. I don't want to see that. Okay, well, they're your friends, so you follow them. And then, well, I'm going to unfollow them. No, don't do that, Mom.
No, I don't.
I know.
I know what to do.
I know. No, you are very nice. You're a very well-liked person because you talk to everyone. You engage your audience.
I don't think I've ever had an enemy.
I don't think so.
That I know of.
I don't think so. I definitely don't remember one. And you're so, it's funny because now that I've written this book and some people have spoken out to me to say, I didn't know Mrs. Oakes was such a prankster. So this other side of you is coming out to others who have only seen you, be this like perfect lady. And I think that's kind of fun and funny. You are definitely a prankster, and I do it to my kids. So I thank you. I drive them crazy too. I think when we're laughing, we're not.
You have to have humor.
Yes, definitely. Okay, Gracie, come here. Come up in my lap. So what do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what do you want to be when you grow up?
That's too late.
I want to be J-Lo.
Yeah. Okay. So we're fresh off the Super Bowl performance, which by now you all have seen that, done it, retweeted it, all of that. But yeah, I was going to have a second helping of chili after halftime. And then I was like, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll skip that second bowl. Wow, what a performance. And you didn't know who Shakira was. You're like, who is that? Who is that?
No, I don't know who that is.
So Shakira and J-Lo pretty much.
You're talking away. We're in May now.
Yeah,
but
we're going to talk about it because it happened.
February.
And you know what? It's still going to be a talked about item in May because who couldn't? The woman is 50.
I know.
And I don't care that when Shakira's 40 something, like they killed it. Killed it. And if that doesn't prove that women can do anything, I don't know what else we're waiting for. Like, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to be remembered as J-Lo, or do you want to be J-Lo? Because
either one is okay.
Because the truth is you are sitting here in your leather leggings and your little cute booties and your cute little Jill Albert's jewelry necklace that you bought over the weekend, and your cute little glasses, and your hair has your crisscross part, and you're very hip and cute. And so, in my opinion, I mean, you don't have an ass like J-Lo, but
I think I do.
No, you don't. But you could,
Honey.
you are living your best life. I think that. I think as much as you can be. You refuse to go into a retirement center. You are living on your own. You are completely independent. You drive to the Jersey Shore. You drive up to Lafayette College. You drive places. Like, you are an independent woman at 88 years old. And that, I think, is J-Lo, basically. So
I didn't really mean to tell you that I wanted to be J-Lo.
Yeah, well, you didn't mean to, but now I'm thinking in this moment, I'm having kind of an aha moment. Like, that's J-Lo. J-Lo is an independent woman who is living her best life and doing it her way. And that's what you're doing. So congratulations. I'm so excited. My mom is J-Lo. how cute was it when her daughter came up and sang? Oh my God, that was so cute, so cute. Okay, so what else? I got to think of some more things. I mean, growing up, being in a house of girls, because I have two sisters, and Gracie is literally staring at you like, why aren't you picking me up? She loves my mom so much, and she went to stay. This is my mom. Okay, this is a great story. So forget about the girls. We live in a girl house, but we were kind of raised as boys, girls, whatever. So it kind of gave us a lot of grit. But I was working in New York for whatever, I can't remember what show it was, but doing a pilot. And I brought my dog, and I was living with Marin and Carly, and I brought Gracie, and the girls were like, no, I don't want Gracie in our apartment because if she barks, then we're going to get in trouble. And so you were up in New York because, of course, you came up for something, and you're like, I'll take her. And so my 87-year-old mom just took the dog and took her home and took care of her for a week. I guess that's not that crazy, but the way you were just so casual about it, you're like, I'll take her. And she had the best time. She loves your house. But like, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Like, you're so easygoing. And when you stay with me, you could sleep on an ironing board. Like, you're not high maintenance. Like, you like nice things, but you don't require anything. Like, you were asking me today, like, well, what coat should I wear, Sally? I'm like, I don't know. Choose one you want. Like, just whatever. Just whatever you want it works. So thank you for teaching us all not to be high maintenance.
I sleep on couches.
Yes, you do. You sleep on couches. You'd rather sleep on a couch than a bed sometimes.
It gives you back rest.
Gracie, I think Gracie wants us to wrap this podcast up. So here's what you've taught me as a mother. You've taught me to be very engaged with my kids. I absolutely love being a mother. It is my most favorite role, my most favorite job, as I know it is for Susan, my sister, who recently just told me that just because we were having a conversation. She's like, all I ever really wanted to be was a mom. She's very successful at what she does with the law firm defending doctors. And she's not a lawyer, but she should be. And she's a physician's assistant. So she does a lot of research. And then there's Cindy, who was a major player on Wall Street in the 80s. Real pioneer as a woman, a Wharton Business School grad who made millions on Wall Street and now runs her life like a mergers and acquisition or an LPO or whatever we call these things. She's a very engaged mother and woman and wife and friend and sister, as is Susan. And I think we learned that from you. I mean, we got so much from Dad. Like, my book's dedicated to him. I gush over his heart and I miss him every day. He's totally with me. But you really taught us just to be really engaged and present. And I really appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm really going to miss you one day. Like, you just put me out. Like, literally put me out. I will not be well. Nobody is. And
yes,
I don't mean to be morbid about it, but like the fact that I can call you, the fact that I can pick up the phone and call you is the greatest gift that I could ever have. There's no one besides my girls and my son and my husband who I'd rather call, and Betsy, than you. But you're number one. Like, I just want to call you and you'll talk to me about the same thing over and over again. I don't even care. I'm like, whatever, you're answering the phone. That's enough for me. And so I know there are a lot of people listening who wish they could call their mom or their dad.
I tried to call my mother for a good 5 years, thinking that
after she passed, you mean? Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like, you can't call your best friend Aunt Mary. You can't call these people. You can talk to them, of course, but you can't call them on the phone. They don't
talk back. That's
right.
The problem.
Right. Well, they
do in a little bit.
They do in some ways. Yeah. You've had a lot of visitations from Dad, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. You said you hear him breathing?
I don't know whether I've ever said that. But
oh, God. Yes. You told me that you've heard him breathing at night next to you.
what I have forgotten in my life is more important, is more frightening than anything.
Well, speaking of breathing, we just all stayed in the same hotel room. You, me, Carly, and Billy. And we were like, Nana, we're going to have to put a pillow over your face if you snore like that. You were really good. I was very impressed. I was actually worried you weren't alive. I was like, speaking of calling my mother, are you alive? Because you're not breathing heavy.
Oh, I tried so hard not to do it.
You were really good. Yeah, my mother cannot breathe through her nose. If she has to close her mouth, it's a problem.
And I kept it closed. I was like this the whole night.
Yeah, you were nervous. It was not fun. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, to share a hotel room, no big deal. That's what we do. We just all pile in the bed.
My biggest regret in life is not being educated. And no one in my family was ever educated.
Well, you graduated from high school.
Yeah, high school.
And you went to junior college.
But
right.
Nothing like you girls have had.
Yeah.
Or my husband had.
Yeah.
And that really is sad because I really feel it.
Yeah. Well, there are plenty of people that are high school graduates only who go on to do incredible things. And education, you don't have to have a degree in college to be smart. It helps. It really helps. It helps you get in the door for what you want to do. You didn't have a career. You worked at the office for a doctor. Yeah. But by the time I was born, you were home full time. I will always, always treasure that. Nowadays, it's almost impossible for a child to have a stay-at-home mom or dad. Sad. It's hard. We need a double income, and it's hard. It's really hard. But I thank you for being there for me. It was a time that was different, but you still led. You ran the house. I mean, Dad did absolutely nothing.
Well,
you paid the bills. You were on if something was broken.
He didn't know how to change a light bulb.
He didn't know his zip code, okay? Because he was so focused on definitely loving us and being an amazing dad. But he was so focused on saving people's lives and being a physician. That was his calling, and that's what he did. And that's how he made his mark in many other ways as well. But I thank you for being the person that was always there, even when you said you weren't who you were. But yeah, and you're funny. Like you dance. You're with it with like all of our nieces' husbands, my niece's husbands, your grandchildren's husbands. Uh-huh. And you're flirty. You're cute. You have a nice cocktail. You love to go get in your bathing suit and go down to the beach. And that says a lot. You are not stopping your life. And thank you for being that kind of role model for me, because I don't feel my age ever. But I think that has everything to do with how you and Dad raised us.
Thank you, honey. That is really makes me have goosebumps all over. Just.
What are you loving right now? Like what TV series are you loving right now?
Well, Frankie and Grace.
You love
I just finished.
Yeah, that's so up your alley.
Because I'm so impressed with
Jane Fonda.
Yeah, Jane Fonda. I'm sorry, I can't. That's my
and
problem.
Lily Tomlin.
I can't come up with names.
She's the most beautiful woman in Hollywood.
She's unbelievable.
Next to Jane.
And I stood as close to her as I am to you right now. Yeah. In New York.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And I turned around and she was right there and I went, wow.
Yeah, no, she's a wowzer. I mean, I've seen her in person a few times and she stops. She stops.
She is
like
incredible.
Traffic, like wow. Like
and
everyone
of course,
parts ways.
I never can say her name right. Moira. What is it?
Keep trying.
How do you say
Just keep trying. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say Moira. I can't say it.
Moira.
Moira
Rose.
That was
Schitt's Creek.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It was just so entertaining and so funny. It might not appeal to a lot of people.
It is my I live, eat, breathe it. I am in love with every part of that show. And of course, people think I look like Moira since 1990, since the Home Alone film came out. And now with Moira and the way she dresses, you remind me of Moira with your millions of accessories. I'm like, Mom, you got to take the belt off or the necklace off, or you got to take the earring off or the belt off. Like she dressed for the party and she had so many accessories on. I'm like, you got to lose something. You're like, why? Like, because. And you definitely love black and white like I do. And yeah, you give a good Moira. Plus you've got wigs. So you've always got that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you want to borrow my Moira necklace? If you borrowed my Moira necklace, you would get a lot of Moira love.
Oh, I would love to find that somewhere.
Okay. We'll go up north to Oui Oui Madame, I think it's called. It's a French shop that sells what I'd like to call Moira necklaces in Winnetka.
You mean you? Oh, well.
I'll take you. We'll go right now. Happy Mother's Day. I do have a gift for you, a Moira necklace. I love it. Okay, who's your favorite child?
Who is my favorite child? I get that question often, usually from one.
Cammie.
Yes, Cammie, every time. Who's your favorite?
Cammie, literally, when I first got a phone, and I think it was a BlackBerry, she wrote her name in it. She must have been old enough to have had a cell phone, so whenever that was. And of course, it says my favorite, and I still have that. Yeah, Cammie likes to be fave.
I couldn't pick out one if I tried.
And the joke is in our house is that, for all the beautiful accolades I'm giving you, you are extremely critical. Like, so we all are nervous around my mom. Like, are we cute enough? Are we skinny enough? Are we dressed the right way? Like, oh my God. Like she's got a little conditional love sometimes. I mean, we really, truly were raised with unconditional love. But if we have an outfit that isn't on point, it could be a little conditional. So, so one time, oh, bullshit. So anyway, we were in the kitchen in our old house, the house we grew up in, and Susan, Cindy, and I were having a full-on fight, like, who's dad's favorite? I was like, of course I am. Susan's like, I am. Cindy's like, I am. So we all were like, what? Like, it's totally me. And so then we're like, okay, well, who's mom's favorite? And I'm like, I'm out. Susan's like, I'm out. Cindy's like, not me. And so it is true. I mean, you may treat us all the same, but we all definitely know. I 100% think Susan's your favorite. I think, I don't know. I don't know where Cindy and I land on 2 and 3, but I think Susan is your favorite. Your favorite grandchild? I can't say. I feel like it's Carly, but sometimes it's Cammie.
Sometimes it's Marin.
And sometimes it's Marin. But I think it's Lucy now that she's dating Tyler. Sorry, Lucy. I don't mean that against you, but you love Lucy's boyfriend, Tyler. And you have to give the same love to Joe and Carl and Ross and Brian.
Absolutely.
You got to keep it even, man, Mom. You got to spread
gorgeous.
the Snookie love. Yeah, we got a lot of really good
guys.
Really good
Wonderful.
guys. Okay. Well, Mom, thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you don't like to public speak. This is not public speaking. This is a conversation.
Okay.
And if everyone listening would understand that when you speak in front of people, even though we don't have an audience today, it's really, if you think of it as a conversation, you are less fearful because we're never scared to have conversations. So this wasn't so bad, right, Mom?
It's not so bad, but the thoughts that you had just finished a book on speak, and I have done some speaking in my lifetime.
You have. You were the PTA president, so you spoke a lot for that.
And I've done it other times. But I'm a nervous wreck. I hate it.
Well, I've seen you speak at family events and give beautiful toasts, and I think all of us want to be able to do that. And I think that whether we're speaking to an individual, our boss, a team, a presentation, a loved one's event, or in front of hundreds of people, we should all have the ability to say, I deserve to be here. I am here. It's not about me. It's about the people I'm speaking to. It's about the audience, and let those nerves just drift away so that you can enjoy it.
If it's written and I can read it.
Written is worse. Just speak from your heart.
Oh, I can't.
You write it and then you know it because it's coming from your heart. Because if you wrote it, you already know it. And I know people get very nervous. I get nervous that I'm going to forget something. And that's when you realize that if you do forget it, it's okay.
Hello.
Well, if you forget something, the audience is never going to know because they don't know what you've written. So it's just you that knows it.
Yeah, but if it makes no sense at all.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, I have no speaking engagements in the next 20 years, so I'm fine.
Wonderful. You can come
fine.
with me on mine. So I appreciate that. Well, thanks, Mom. Your love speaks. I'm grateful that you are my mom. Happy Mother's Day and happy day. Happy Mother's Day to all. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies out there and all the people that want to be mommies, because we can't forget that too. There are a lot of people out there that would love to have a celebration on Mother's Day as a mother, and that's really hard on them too. I pray that whoever's listening who's trying to be a mom, that you find a way to do that, because there are so many ways of doing that. And I pray for those who are today without their moms, and this weekend without their moms. And just know that they're right there in your little side pocket with you all the time, no matter what. They're in your heart. They're in everything that you do. And you will be as well with me. I've had a lot of friends lose their moms recently, and it's hard. And I'm so grateful that you're sitting here at Mystery Street Recording Company with me and Gracie, hanging out, and let's go get you a Moira necklace. Thanks, Mom. I love you.
Thank you, honey.
I have loved speaking with you today, and I want to speak with you more. So follow me on all of my social platforms at Live Love Speaks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you want more stories like the stories we speak here on the Love Speaks series podcast, go to lovespeaks.com and pick up a copy of my new book, Speak. Love your story, your audience is waiting. To step up your speaking game and your human game. Check out my blog while you're there.
Sally Lou Loveman is a mom, speaker, author, former audience producer for The Oprah Winfrey Show, and founder of Love Speaks. Each week, Sally Lou and her crew have a conversation about how love speaks in their lives and how it can speak in yours. From kindness to composting, no topic is off limits. If you need a community to kickstart your heart, you need the Love Speaks series.
Thanks for listening. Your Love Speaks.